In September of 2017, my mom and I decided to participate in Miners Day by having a vendor booth. Shannon was very noticeable because she had a neck brace on, and their booth was right across from ours. It's odd to think back on this because the best way I could describe it was she was being on from the very beginning. She was very loud and very boisterous, talking to every person in the vicinity, including the people manning the booths around her. I remember thinking, wow, that lady is a lot. And then I felt bad because when she came to our booth, she was very engaging and seemed genuinely interested. Since her booth was across from us, we could see her interacting with people. The booth she had was very plain, but they had a spinning wheel where you could win prizes, and she was hooting and hollering the whole day to get people to come. We ended up talking a few more times throughout the day, and again, I remember thinking, man, if anybody is a natural-born salesperson, it's this chick. I think the fact that she was so boisterous is why I remember this next part so well. I want to say that we all started setting up at about 7 a.m. We didn't break down until 5 p.m. or so. From 7 a.m. to after lunch, she had been yelling and singing, dancing, and interacting with everyone. Honestly, the best things to do when in a busy selling environment. At about 2-ish, a guy came around Sellers Row and went straight to Shannon's booth and sat down. She instantly sat down next to him, and all noise and animated behavior from her stopped. She introduced this man to the other lady as her husband. My mom, who is now a child psychologist, but once used her forensic psychology degree to be a victim's advocate and then parole officer, was watching them like a hawk. I joked that it was so quiet now we could actually hear ourselves think, and my mom very absent-mindedly said, "Yeah, I guess so." It wasn't long until Shannon and Chris got up and he led her away. As they left, Shannon thanked us for the scrapbooking ideas, signed up to get our newsletter, and said she wanted to join one of our get-togethers, but couldn't commit because her girls were so young and she didn't have consistent care, but maybe one day she'd make it. After they left, my mom looked at me and said, "There's something wrong with that relationship. I guarantee he is controlling and even potentially abusive." I asked what she meant, and she remarked that Shannon's behavior had done a full 180 when he arrived. And as they sat there, Shannon watched Chris like a hawk. My mom then shook her head and said, "It's a shame." And we went on with our day, not really giving it another thought. Fast forward to August 14th of 2018. I am 9 months pregnant with my first daughter. She was born on August 25th. And my mom calls me and tells me to Google the news story of a missing Frederick woman and her 2 children. I pulled up the story and my mom said, "Do you recognize her?" I was shocked to see the face of the lady whose booth had been across from us at Miners Day. We read the story on the phone together, and my heart sank when it talked about her 2 young kids and her being pregnant. It was then my mom said, "Mark my words, this husband did something." I said, "You think?" Thinking she would discuss the stats of intimate partner violence, but instead she said, "Yes, he either hurt her or she ran to get away from him. God, I hope she ran." 2 days later, we read the news that Chris Watts had been arrested for murdering his family and that police were attempting to exhume the bodies from where he put them. For 5 years, this case has haunted me. I don't know if it's because we met her, we saw a brief interaction between her and Chris, she was pregnant when I was pregnant, or if it was the sheer proximity of her to me, but it's haunted me.